Ladies and Germans, how you work.
And this is Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we are on the map of Szydlca, which I have been informed by a Polishman is the actual name to say this map. And right, who do we have? I'm super excited for this. Talk about this.
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves Emperor Nate, playing the Third Guard Mechanized, with a Vanguard income. Right-hand side in red, we have the 2nd New Zealand Division, playing by Plague of Rats Plops, which is a fantastic name, also with a Vanguard income, and this is SD League Season 4 Division 2.
So, talk to me about the Skaven division over here. I mean, the New Zealanders. Like, tell me about those rats. What's going on with this? These guys are new, right?
Yeah, they're like a Commonwealth infantry division. They got lots of Shermans, like good light vehicles and support artillery. But the infantry is pretty crazy, as they got the Greek dudes, and then they got New Zealand blokes. They got the Maoris, which have fanatical traits, lots of automatic weaponry, diggers, bloody like Greek guys are like pretty well equipped. They have a lot of fun infantry, like focused gameplay and good reconnaissance as well. Not lots in terms of heavy AT. Have a few 17-pounders and I believe some Wolverines here and there, but definitely more focused on the infantry fight.
Well, I desperately want one of these there we go. The Uplates are out. So the Uplates are basically being mounted with grease guns, Enfields, and Bren guns. So that's kind of nifty right there.
Yeah, and they got the Raider trait as well, which makes them pretty nasty behind enemy lines.
Yeah, exactly. The Field Engineers, Thompsons, Lee Enfield's TNT. So not the normal numbers you're seeing from most engineer squads, but still freaking scary.
Yeah, that's like pretty good infantry, all things considering. I'm I've heard they're like decent in like this 1v1 meta, because they do have like, I mean, Shermans are really the key unit to be using anyway. I'm still kind of iffy on them because, like, I don't know, the Soviet strokey spam, even though it's more boring compared to New Zealand stuff, is very effective. But we'll just have to see in this match. I mean, you also got some pretty good air power here from the New Zealand with some more less iconic planes here, such as the Kitty Hawk, and they got some boy fights, I can't say it, bow fighters, and some other interesting aircraft that aren't as common.
But see, that's a kind of fun thing. Like, I know there's that kind of meme period when a new division comes in and everybody plays it.
Yes. Yes. But 16 pounds. Sorry.
Oh. You're just jealous because it's actually a decent Panzer division.
it apparently it made 4v4s. Same with that in 21st Panzer. Just every 4v4, it's just King Tigers.
Oh yeah, but yeah. That's the way it should be. You know, I mean, tigers are endangered. We need more tigers. It makes sense. I get you.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fun thing about it, I love seeing these new divisions. I think there's a Fallschirmjäger division that we've yet to cast just yet.
Yeah,
I'm super excited for that. What's that?
Yeah, the new divisions that I've added in the Nemesis DLCs is fantastic. It's a very good way of introducing new divisions with, you know, less. Oh, like you don't have to make it be like small scale.
Iconic.
Yeah, and add like more interest in like, you know, unit formations, which is cool. Speaking of the match, Trevor, it's like pretty even Stevens. Like both sides has barely gotten any points. Down south, we got a pretty infantry fight going on here of Greek and New Zealand troops.
And the diggers, yeah.
Yeah, but the Ogman are pretty nasty to dig out.
But they're outmatched though too. Like, you're not going to go and take out several infantry squads in the first place, let alone ones when you only have a, you know, man pack.
Yeah, and it's so I just looked at the rest of the southern side. There's nothing here from Emperor Nate. Exactly. He has a single partisani. So this could be a pretty good push here from Mr. Rat if he manages to, you know, clear out this last infantry. But the Ogman does not gonna go into the night quietly.
I'm actually surprised. Like, I'm not seeing. Oh, I always forget they actually have a PP Shah. I don't know why. Because I'm so used to, I think, just to seeing flames and that's it.
Oh yeah. And also with the two-man flamethrower squads, secretly they actually have 4 HP. So they're secretly a 4-man squadron array that don't have the extra firepower. Yeah, it was like to make them a little bit more useful so they don't die as immediately.
Well, that's just not fun.
Yeah. Which is also kind of, I mean, it's not realistic, but it's kind of funny thinking, like, oh, these guys are more survivable compared to other infantry, even though they have a massive, you know, gas tank on their back.
Well, just Russian bias,
Yeah.
you know, just like World of Warships, and I'm pretty sure that Kitty Hawk just took out its own
Yes.
sniper.
Oh, maybe. I didn't just catch. I've been looking like far north here. The Emchers are just spearheading this push. Now, Plague of Rats, she's bringing in that 6-pounder and a Sherman to try to knock out the other Shermans. And he has more Shermans up north. I mean, this is going to get very confusing if all Shermans fighting each other, that's for damn sure.
Well, the amusing thing here is that the Sherman 3 technically shouldn't have been able to kill the other Sherman.
Yeah, but it's a Steel Division where
Yeah,
the penetration points don't even matter. It's all just... Yeah, it's mathematics and spreadsheets, but really in gameplay, it really does just feel like black magic and what can penetrate what.
Oh yeah, I mean exactly. It's like the old show, Whose Tank Is It Anyway, where everything's made up and the points don't matter. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But the MCHUs, of course, now being fired on by both the Sherman 3 with a damaged transmission. So
Yeah.
the belt's been thrown here, guys. And a rather abused 6-pounder, who I imagine is going to go down pretty quickly. I don't think the Staggun's going to get in the way in the meantime.
Yeah. But the main thing with his... Sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
My apologies. But yeah, the main
it's
thing
fine.
of Emperor Nate is he did manage to, you know, even though he lost a lot of his tanks in that push, he does have infantry by that flag, and I think that's going to be a rather pain in the ass for Mr. Rat to dig him out. Yeah, and he does have the Zis 2 backing him up, so it's a really good position that Nate has got himself into. But he is actually losing because the southern side is not looking too Gucci.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit rough, and I think we're going to be seeing that's going to be an airstrike waiting to happen.
You see Staghound behind enemy lines? This is such a sneaky spot. He's trying to chase after the guards, but he's not going to realise that there's a Sherman coming around the corner.
That's okay. He's going to get one kill, and that's all he cares about. Yeah. He slowed them down to the front, and that's the important part.
Yeah. Comes a Sherman.
Yep.
Show his thanks by blowing them up to smithereens at point-blank range. Which is what Sherman's very good at.
These oblites, these field engineers, they're in some pretty crap spots, honestly.
Yep. I like how we have units, we have like a New Zealand/Greek division, and we have a Russian division, and they're both just really using American equipment. We've got a Cobra trying to shoot down a Kitty Hawk. Now the American arms just go around everywhere.
Yeah, well, dude, the Lend-Lease is what is this?
You get a Sherman.
Guys over to fight with it. Give it to everybody else. Let them die instead.
Yeah.
It's the American way.
Yeah. Everyone gets a Sherman. Yeah. It's just one of the few... I mean, people always complain about, you know, the Axis on Axis allies and allies. But this is always, like, the fun run when it's the Cold War battle between, like, Western allies versus Soviets. I do like seeing these matches. Even though it's a bit more similar equipment compared to Germans and Soviets. Because, you know, it's just... It's just, like... You know, it's in World War II games, you don't really see a sort of match-up often between allies and allies.
Not unless you're playing Hearts of Iron. That kind of removes all the visceral kind of death at the end of it, so...
Yeah, it's always surprising when the French player, you know, allies with the German player.
You know, I continue want to read... I want to read some historical thing with the Franco-British Union. I desperately want to read a historical fiction about that. Oh, it'll be so much fun. Anyway, sorry. So Kitty Hawk's in the meantime, I kind of forget that Kitty Hawk is super heavily armed.
Yeah, it's got 6 bloody 50 cals, which is not bad. That's like the same to a P-51 Mustang, which is pretty good. It's like, yeah, it's not a bad airplane, really, all things considering. Like, it's a decent, you know, fighter for what it is in the Cobra. Trying to get that kill. The Hawk just can't get behind the Cobra, it seems. Well, I don't think he's... Are they even trying? I don't know. This is just a weird air battle.
Head-to-heads. That's always the greatest idea.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go head-to-head with a Cobra, guys. That's a pretty big gun. And hey, here we got the, one of the new hero units for New Zealand. I don't know anything about this guy, so I apologize. I have nothing really witty to say. I'm sure someone in the comments will comment on him.
Rooster? I think he's a Greek ace. I might be wrong about that.
Judging by the name, I would
his
agree.
Name is Marianos Michalexis, but
yeah. Yeah, down south, yo, Nate is starting to try to push back a bit. It does have the partisan DPs, which, yeah, alright.
I guess a 6-pounder though. That's more than enough.
A 6-pounder is going to get pounded here. He's going to run right into the partisanes, field engineers, and oplites. Oh, actually, looking at this again, no, Emperor Nate should be able to push this. Legoret's infantry is pretty depleted here. There's not much HP, and the Sherman backing up is definitely rather helpful. Yeah, I feel like the main issue for Wats is mainly just the anti-tank.
Well, if that wasn't enough, there's still 5 more squads of infantry being brought on in.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of
including 2 officers. So 3 more squads of infantry being brought on in. So
yeah, Nate is actually pushing pretty hardcore. I mean, it's 15-9 so far. And we're just entering into B phase right now. Yeah, Wats needs to try and scourge its momentum. Because down south, the Guards are just gonna rush on through once again. Oh, unless, Spitfire does some strafing runs here.
Yeah, but strafing run's not going to be enough to take out 7 squads of infantry, 6 geese laying, and 5 golden emchas. So, I mean, like... I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that Kitty Hawk's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah. It's been a pretty good use of air power from Wats so far. He's going to be going after, the bigger infantry blob. But Nate is, he's rushing his guard DPs, and if he can get into that farmstead, that's going to be a very good position to hold on to.
Doesn't look like he's really that concerned about the farmstead, though. I do like this counter move, though. We're seeing Wolverine 6-pounder, so the Wolverine's going to deal with that Emtra pretty darn easily.
Mm-hmm.
The Oplites, my initial enthusiasm about them is cooling a little bit, but I think it's just because they've been outnumbered 5 or 6 to 1.
Yeah, I mean they're not like super amazing because they don't have great firepower really, but the Raiders and just having 12 guys just make them not like super tanky, but a little bit tankier compared to like a Strokey squad, for example, but just not the best in terms of firepower, which is one of the problems with like British, Commonwealth style divisions is, the Bren guns are kind of rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the type of firepower you get with the infantry. It's not like with the Soviets where you have a horde of SMGs, or if you're Germans where you have a horde of machine guns and assault rifles and semi-automatic rifles. With these Commonwealth guys, you just kind of have regular rifles. You're really relying more on fire support. Unless you're using the Maoris, and some of the other troops which New Zealand have, which do have good automatic firepower, but that's really it.
Actually, I won't lie. I was looking at this for a second. I was trying to see the stat difference between Lee Enfield and Mosin Nagant. And
it's the Lee Enfield shoots a little bit faster, I believe. Just like a tad.
Okay, yeah, but
it's not like anything major.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough to really like make anything like super great. I mean, it's much better if you have a semi-automatic rifle. But yeah, I mean, Wats is managing to gain a little bit of momentum back down south here, bringing in the Wolverine and Shermans. But now I've been saying he's been lacking, anti-tank. I feel like currently right now, reassessing the situation, he definitely needs a bit more infantry. Oplites are pushing it up an awful bit against the Partisanes, but Nate has a very good position up north. He has AT guns up the Razoo, anti-aircraft guns, Shermans, good infantry positions. Like, he is pretty well set, all things considering. And this is a pretty easy... Is it a good defensive style map? Just due to all the forests, which again dispersed by large open ground areas. It's very good for anti-tank guns.
That's true, but while we are seeing some of this resistance being put up, are we slowly running out of all of the heavy anti-tank guns? For the Soviets, I mean.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have...
Especially in the south. I mean, we see another Zis-2 going down. Yes, we have Emchas out the wazoo, but Wolverine should be able to take out an Emcha, every single day and twice on Saturday. And the Sherman 3s, there's just enough of them there, I think.
Yeah. I think just like, it's not even like the Zis-2s aren't going to matter too much. It's just about keeping up that Emcha spam. And Rel, he does have a lot of Emcher spam. Emperor Innate does, at least. And, well, same thing as Rel with Plague of Rats. I mean, it's pretty silly not to spam Emchers when really your only tanks are Emchers. Like, you just always take Emchers, Shamans, whatever you want to call them.
Lend-Lease.
Lend-Lease, yeah. God, I wish someone would give me a tank for free. I should have been around in the 1940s, can't.
If you were around in the 1950s, you'd be like, I like Marx. And at that point, they would have thrown tanks at you.
Here's a plane to the Soviet Union. Don't come back.
Exactly.
Yeah, if that, and that's been nice. Yeah, oh, Cobra's gonna be trying to shoot down the Asia. I don't think he has the speed. Oh, but the turning, yeah, that's gonna be the end, maybe? No.
No, we're back to the flow carburetors.
Yeah, gotta really curse those slow carburetors, you know. Whatever they do. I guess they carburate the floating part of the airplane. That's what makes the airplane float, so it can fly. That's my guess.
I would not be surprised. At that point, again, that's like me, like, praying to the machine god that it turns on. I have no idea how it repairs itself, but magically, 5 seconds after a good shot, it gets repaired, so...
You have a Boston being brought in down south, and is he going for the tank blob here? Because this would be a pretty good bombing run. I mean, is this 2's right? Yeah, 2's is 2's, actually.
Cobra's gonna take him out, yeah.
Yep. Knocks out Shaman, but the anti-tank guns are mostly fine. And those IS-2s can, you know, pretty easily knock out your Sherman tanks.
As we just saw, unfortunately, for that one Sherman tank.
Yep. Yeah.
But we are back to a 12-12. And if you're looking back, trying to think back to the decks themselves, as we're going later and later, does it get better for the New Zealanders?
I'd say it's pretty even between both sides. Both divisions are actually pretty similar, really. I mean, they're both infantry spam in like, just got like strokies or diggers or whatever. And then they're both Sherman spam with like good air power. So I think this is like fairly even between both sides. I mean, they both have the same income because this is, you know, this is the meta for 1v1s. You take Vanguard or Maverick. You know, mostly Vanguard. And if you're crazy, you take Flatline. I'd like to see someone take Flatline.
Unfortunately, so many people who take Flatline would just be dead. So, like, that's way too accurate, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically anyone who's not second blende, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, things are starting to, like, grind down a bit. Both sides really just bringing in reinforcements at this stage of the map.
Can we just talk real quick about the Sherman driving across what looked like a lake to me?
Where?
Now I realize it's just a marsh. I'm took one
Like
look down there
north?
and I was like, wait a second, he's not amphibious. But not
Redcon?
really a concern for us. Oh, all the way down the south. Going from east to west. There's a Sherman 3 just driving across what looked like a lake, and I was pretty confused for half a second.
Guess like, okay, yeah. It does kind of look like a lake from up above. I see what you mean, but it's just like a field.
Marsh.
Marsh.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of lag in the north, taking out a Spandau machine gun. I'm trying to just take another sight at this. Like, this is still... I'm not going to say anyone's game. The Emperor still is just crushing this northern flank.
Yeah, he's really been putting on the pressure, like, doing these northern aggressions here with the Shermans and spearheading through, and the same thing with that southern spearhead. He's definitely been leading the momentum of his game, that's for damn sure. He's just been trading pretty efficiently.
That Spitfire's got to stop making gun runs over the front lines.
Yeah. Here he is gonna.
He's gonna go down now. Cobras are gonna catch up to him.
Oh no, I think the Cobras are like pretty slow. Oh, Spitfires is really fast.
Maybe he gives us that extra Greekness.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the Satsiki. But M-Trust in the meantime, taking up extra positions to kind of continue to hold this farmstead over here in the north. And we're not really seeing any Bofors, except for this one being brought in now. Other than that, there's been zero air cover, or anti-air cover to the north, and they're starting to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bound down, 6-pounder just getting slacked on here.
I am surprised that despite the fact that there's 4 25-pound howitzers over here from the New Zealanders,
Hmm.
not a whole lot of actual artillery from the Kiwis.
Yeah, we haven't really been seeing much. I think he's just been more focusing on the direct anti-tank and anti-infantry play. We definitely need some more anti-air because, yeah, the lags up north are proven to be quite a pain as Nate is keeping up pressure. I also feel like his oblites haven't really been, like, all that great. Yeah, it's been like his main infantry, and they're not like anything fancy, but he doesn't have, especially looking at his deck, like many like proper CQC troops really. It's kind of a like downfall of course, like Commonwealth divisions in general in the New Zealand in this case, because damn, the Russians are very good at forest fights, and they have Superiors and Avtomachikis and Ongamachikis and all the
They're
other
very cheeky.
Chikis. Yeah, very
Oh yeah.
cheeky troops. I feel like that's definitely been hindering Rat quite a bit. And also just the amount of goddamn Shermans that Emperor Nate has been using to great effect.
Well, man, he found the STC for him. I understand completely.
Hmm.
But
This
yeah,
Spitfire is so ballsy.
well, yeah, and he just left trailing smoke, and somehow he's back out again already.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm pretty sure he left 25 or 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But maybe that's an entire wing. I don't know. Maybe you just bought both of them. I have no idea. No, I do find myself wondering how these matches up against Axis divisions though too.
Mm-hmm.
Like we kind of talked about the fact that you're not going to generally win an infantry fight against a Russian division. It just doesn't happen. But what could be done from wow, that poor Wolverine. What can be done against an Axis division where infantry spam is not so much a thing?
I think against Axis this would be a bit better because like having to fight Shermans with Shermans is not ideal. You know? Like, it makes it a bit harder, so to speak, and yeah, the Russian infantry is pretty good. I mean, some depends on German infantry division. Some of them can be really scary infantry raids. Other ones are just, you know, wreck cardboard when it just comes to grenadiers and whatnot. But yeah, this is like, oh, I feel like Rats has just been having a pretty hard time and just getting good engagements so far. I mean, he's pushing down south here. But the guard DPs, I mean, also there's the veterancy on them, helping out quite a bit against the Oplites, yeah. But I also just feel like Nate's has been playing much more aggressive and just getting, you know, better trade, all things considering. And yeah, like both of these divisions are pretty similar. Albeit, you know, like completely different nationalities and sectors of war which they fought.
I will say though, with losing their officer support, yes, we have other squads kind of rushing in here, and unfortunately, for the Kiwis, that Sherman has not been able to do anything, and now the only thing he can do is just die and leave a pretty corpse.
Yeah.
But they're able to shoot up one Studebaker, so they might be able to. Okay, if they catch the Russian infantry in the open, they're going to be great. But of course, the second the Superior is getting close, they're doomed.
Even at long range, the Superiors are pretty good because they have the semi-automatic rifle fire bonus. So they can actually trade pretty efficiently. Now, here he goes. One going to be flanking in, throwing in that satchel charge, and even the lag coming in to really finish things off. There we go, the Oplites just go down without much of a fight. We do see the Diggers Piat, and he's actually pretty nice. I mean, they're not like great infantry per se, but it's nice that you have a Piat. It's better than like most Commonwealth divisions. Oh, I guess now a lot of Commonwealth divisions you have Piat Squadron infantry teams. But in a CQC fight, they're going to be terrible. I don't know what I'm trying to say about him, but they're probably going to be digging their own grave soon.
Well, that's one thing I like about you, is the fact you look at a lot of the Commonwealth and you're like, ah, it's a dead organ, forget it, we're out. just bury yourself, guys, it's easier that way.
Yeah, it's not looking really that good so far for Nate. It's been really on the back foot most of his match. Oh, up north.
Spitfire.
finally goes down. He's been doing really ballsy like gun runs constantly.
Well, those are these 6-pounders. Oh, they've lost their Wolverine escort here. No amount of healing factor is going to steal that back up. But they are able to take out the rest of the MCHs in the area. Don't know. Yeah, actually, there's no other MCHs for quite a bit of time. We do have SU-76s. But this could be an opportunity, maybe? Rush in a couple of Hoplites and maybe get some things going on there? I don't know.
We do have some Hoplites behind enemy lines, which is unironically a pretty good thing, because they do have that Raiders trait, which allows them to actually operate pretty effectively. Like, they're very good for like sneaking operations such as this, because they also have the stealth bonus as well, but yeah, I don't feel like a great frontline infantry unit to use as we've been seeing. Like, you can use them as fodder, like, you reduce a lot of the infantry, but you just don't have the firepower, you know, of your troops. Like CQC troops and whatnot.
Very true.
Yeah. And
so
Diggers...
is this... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, this is the Diggers PR are not having a good time down south.
Oof. You're absolutely right. But I mean, Superiors, again, we just talked about the fact that they had that firepower bonus in the first place. But now there's Votes over here. These guys are almost not quite as deadly, but they're pretty dang close.
Yeah, they're pretty good for a leader squad because they are a 10-man troop. They are the artillery leader, so of course you're not really using them for artillery. You're just using them as a beefy frontline infantry leader here.
By the way, Lee Enfield does not have a fire rate bonus against the UPRs. The most on the gun actually fires it.
I think that's like, because are you like just judging by the rate of fire? Like, it's because there's more. Oh right.
There's not. It's the same
218.
number. It's
218. No, they're both the same. They're both the same for the Mosin and the Enfield. They're both like for 8 Lee Enfield, it's 218 rounds a minute. And for 8 boat Mosins, it's 218 rounds a minute. And accuracy...
Wait, the UPRs have 9, don't they, I guess?
Yeah, they have 9. I'm comparing Guard DPs to Diggers PR, which both have the exact same amount of boat actions.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. Leonfield does not get a rate of fire bonus. That was for ST-44, but I must be thinking very retroactively in this case. So, yeah, all just exactly the same, so yeah. As you see, it's like the guard DPs, they're like really like well equipped in this regard. They do have like the 2 DPs, the anti-tank rifle, an SMG at least, more guys. So, in the veterancy in this case, Diggers Piats are not going to have a good time right now.
I think you're right. They're trying to dig in, but I think the only place to dig in is about 6 feet down. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been like these small engagements all over that Ratch has been engaging in. But he hasn't really managed to make much ground. Like in the center, he is, you know, getting into a bit of a tank fight here, but he just does not have enough tanks or enough anti-tank. Really, he can't get his 6-pounders not in a useful position really in that far northern sector. It's just really been trying to deal with the MCHs that have been, you know, pouring out from Emperor Nate.
Perversely, I can't help but feel that he does have a lot of territory, he just doesn't have the right kind of territory.
Ratch, yeah. He has, like, good, like, hold in the center, really, but just not enough to hold those important flag positions.
But that's why we continue to see these Spitfires come back in, chopping, you know, 1,000 pounds of bombs on a single Sherman, desperately trying to get some kind of action done, and not able to really get a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
But, perhaps you want to take this to times 2, about 30 minutes?
Sure, that sounds good.
But as we're kind of going through with this, of course, folks, if this is your first time really seeing the New Zealanders, or seeing those Kiwis, don't make your contention on a single cast. A single cast is not a division make. I will say that, again, I'm super excited to see these guys actually getting added in times 2.
Yeah, like a pretty cool division. Like they're cool to see. I think in terms of like competitive play, like you're much better off just taking like in this case
The
third guard
standards for right now.
mechanized, like the
Yeah,
Russian, like this. It's like a Russian Sherman spam division instead, because the infantry is just better, all things considering. But
sure.
yeah, Emperor Nate just did a very good job of his aggressive play, like spearheading through
Yes.
that northern sector. I mean, as we've seen in this map, it's very easy to once you hold an area, like capture an area, it's easy to hold as you have a lot of forests to hide in, and it's a lot of open ground between you and those important flag positions. I mean, Emperor
True.
Nate just has one guard DP at the front line here, and then just a load of Shermans lined up to shoot anyone who dares think about goes near in that farmstead.
Well, and I like seeing that he's got the Studebaker right behind too. So I mean, like, got a supply truck right there. So he's taking some firepower. Okay, big deal. I pull back, allow my guys just to get tip top off their ammo,
Mm-hmm.
and we're set to go.
Yep. Yep. And down south, Nate is starting to push pretty hard here.
But once again, pretty easy to push when there's nothing there to really kind of engage you too. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a 57 mil way back, about 2K back. He will theoretically be able to see though, so it's just a matter of him actually being able to hit. The problem for him is that he's going to be blind by the time he gets there, though, too. These uplites are going to go down. The Bofors not too far behind it. One thing I kind of wish I'd seen a little bit more of is see where this Digger's leader is going to go down to these guards.
Oh yeah.
That would have been an excellent place in my mind to kind of reinforce, maybe slice through, go north, go south.
Yeah, it would have been like a
And
good place to push for Nate
yeah,
for Rats.
exactly.
And as we
Exactly.
see with the God Vision, we know there wasn't much, yeah, of course, but still, it would have been a good divergence from just trying to hit the south flanks.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. Now, at the end of this match, we can now see there's a bunch of Shermans actually being brought on in, and I feel like this is the last throw of the dice,
Yeah,
as the Shermans are desperate to push back against their opposite numbers, their dark clones, if you want to say it.
yeah. And Rats has not been trading out efficiently for Sherman, so now he's forced to use his C-phase unvetted Sherman cards, while Nate has managed to keep most of, more of his Shermans alive, so he's still managing to use his two-star versions of the Shermans. So, well, you do the math.
Yep, so
Yeah.
far it's equaled a lot of dead Kiwis.
Yeah, it's a lot of bounces here between this fight. Sherman's at long range is a very anticlimactic firefight. The armor's
That's
just
true.
too good.
That's true. But a wet noodle contest still goes as a wet noodles. I mean, you get slapped in the face enough times by a wet noodle, you're going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And we can certainly see that here as Sherman after Sherman's being sent to the front, and eventually, yeah, the Kiwi just says, screw it, man, I'm out.
Pretty close in KD. I was not actually expecting that. Thought it'd be more of a stomp here for Nate, but only a 500 difference.
Yeah, I actually kind of expected that myself here, too. Looking over here from the kill side, there's a couple squads of Oplites that serve themselves rather well. It's Spitfire who actually got more ground kills than anything even remotely in the air. I had expected a greater emphasis on air power, and I think to a certain degree, Rats never really got the chance to get himself going on that.
Yeah. He had like some decent air power early on, and I think that definitely would have been more clutch in helping him out. Yeah, because he definitely did not have that ground firepower advantage. But those pesky Cobras and 37mm Russian guns were enough to keep things at bay.
Yeah, one getting 2 Kitty Hawks into Boston. Another one getting several ground kills. Another Cobra picking up a Kitty Hawk and a Spitfire. So, Marios Michaleskis over there. And I think I'm going to try to look up a little bit more history about him, just to kind of so that way I can be a little bit more conversant. But, yeah, that was the debut of the Kiwis on this particular channel. And unfortunately, it looks like they were more flightless birds than soaring to victory.
Yeah. It is like pretty alright. But it's like, to be fair, the one thing I do like about SD2 Divisions, how they've done the DLC over Eugene Systems' previous DLCs, is that it's been feeling much less power creepy in terms of
Yes.
like
Oh my gosh, yes.
no fourth. We haven't really had to deal with something like fourth armored. I feel like in SD2, like the Finnish divisions were like pretty good on release, but they weren't like crazy good. Like as one of like I prefer them to add rubbish divisions rather than overpowered divisions. That's what I'm trying to say in many words.
Well, to bring up some more historically overmatched and or overlooked divisions, like
Yeah.
Commonwealth side, we've got really from SD44 was the Canadians and the Scots and
Those.
then the Rats.
That's not Commonwealth, but they're like British equipment.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the British equivalent of the BEQ,
Yeah.
but like SD2, we're starting to see some overlooked people. We have the Romanians. We now have the Kiwis of the New Zealanders. We have didn't see a ton of Maoris on this, but I'm looking forward to seeing more Maoris being reflected here. But
Yeah.
you're
They're like
absolutely right. It's a
they're
lot of
like
fun.
very good troops as well in this game. Just like the fanatical trait as we've seen in previous casts is extremely
Awesome.
powerful. It's you just oh you off map artilleried me and charging. I'm fanatical. I ain't gonna surrender to your stupid half track. Go away.
I'm gonna do a hawk cut and spit.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, hopefully, honestly, I hope we actually do see some more of the Kiwis. Maybe go up against the Axis for a change.
Yeah, or just like anything else in general. I do like seeing new divisions in these, ST League games rather than just all the meta stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a big thank you to both Rat Plops over here. I hope he handles that plague pretty soon. And Emperor Nate, well, from atop your throne, thank you, sir. Your Highness, I hope we see some more of your stuff in the near future as well. Um, but I think that's going to do it about us for us today. Do you have anything further to add there, sir?
Nope.
All right, folks. In that case, then, until next time, remember to tip your waitresses. I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.